Are we supposed to sing?
You can.
Are we like not part of this right now?
Yeah. You
I
dance.
can't hear any.
You should do a dance.
I don't even understand what's going on.
I'm
Eddie
kidding.
was muted.
It-
Eddie was
it's a
muted.
hell, isn't this a hell of a fight song, though? Isn't this a good tempo for a fight song?
I like the slow, sad one.
It's more fitting.
Oh, man.
Ryan Mitchell
Like,
called it a funeral song today.
I mean, fair, I think.
I mean,
think
Eddie's
that's fair.
favorite thing to say is R.I.P.
Well, it's just the times we live in, Max. We live in rest in peace times.
Also, you can't start this new era playing old music. We're so outdated.
I will do
Commander Kenny.
it forever. And
I guess I haven't really updated anything around me either. They
no.
don't sell anything. That's the problem.
Yeah,
Good. I
You
will
didn't
say that's a good.
you didn't comment on my man cave, Kenny.
Oh damn! I didn't even notice your man cave.
Yeah, he redecorated. Look at
Hold
look
on,
at
can we
what
pause
Ramona
the-
let him have.
Pause the podcast for 45 minutes while I stare at Max's head. Nice.
That's it's the best green screen I've ever seen.
I don't.
You're the first person that's told me that in a long time, Kenny.
Chances are this is Peasant Hooley's like a house.
Yeah, we'll have them on as a guest host, and like they'll be like, "Hey, that's my room."
Get out of my basement, you freak. But how have you guys been? How's your off season been? I've seen you a few times, Kenny. Max, I've read texts from you several times, but I haven't seen you so much.
Yeah, I know. I've been stuck down in the great state of Florida, roasting and sweating.
Great state, Florida. Interesting. How about you, Kenneth J. Paltrow?
Oh, nothing. Just going to the beach for 4 weeks this summer.
That's always your summer.
I was waiting for you to log on with a sombrero.
That's racist, Max. We just got rid of the Indian headdresses. I can't wear sombreros on here.
Hey, you've been down in Cancun for what, 2 weeks?
I was there for 10 days. I went to the Outer Banks for 3 weeks.
Jeez, you just
I wish I lived
live a
the
life.
kind of life Kenny lives. I don't
I got
understand
summers
it.
off, man. What am I supposed to do?
It makes
Talk
no
about
sense.
The Commanders?
I'm just talking about money wise. I don't know how you on your salary does it. You're just
Dan Snyder brought me on his yacht one year, and here I am.
that might be it. You might be the one with the blackmail.
Deshaun Watson one off season, and I'm good to go.
You do have a surprisingly veiny forearm, so that does make sense.
Got the soft skin, man.
Yeah, buddy.
Loves that Jurgens.
He hasn't just been at the beach though. I'm pretty sure he was at the Commanders Stadium recently.
That I was. I was
Stadium?
at the brand new
FedEx.
Commanders themed stadium.
How was it? What do you think?
I like that it is themed.
I mean, it's not brand new.
I guess
anything.
every stadium is themed for their team in some way.
How was it? Same shitty problems. I think I told you guys, but I guess I can tell the world. I mean, our 10 fans. So we had the team store was closed for game 1.
Okay.
A whole new rebrand. Everyone shows up. Everyone's, good amount of people wearing parts of new merch. A lot of people asking for new merch, and you can't buy it. Well, you can go to like little store, like side stores that were selling like teddy bears with like a W on it, but you couldn't buy anything real because the whole main team store not open.
Wow.
And then was the whole fight song scenario where
Did they have the ones outside though? Did they have the the little booths, trailers still open?
Anything I saw was they have those mini stores, like they have the main store, and then around the stadium it's like that little tiny one that's like, do you want a pennant or do you want a teddy bear? And you're like
no t-shirts or anything, really?
They had some t-shirts. They had some t-shirts, but
okay,
you could buy better t-shirts for cheaper on Fanatics.
Well, that's the way it's always been at the team store, Kenny. I don't know if I know you didn't spend a lot of time there because you buy your quarterback jerseys on NFL.com every other week. The team store's always kind of been like that. Like, and then they would have some good stuff, and it wouldn't be there for long, or it wouldn't be in your size. It's that's not surprising, and it was always very expensive.
Yeah, but I always feel like the team store has like tons of at least like things, even whether they're not the greatest shirts in the world. The side store is the one that's literally like it just says "Go Commanders," gray shirt, like cool, no, and like that's all that was open, and it's like it's day one. First of all, I have a problem with day one. Two-thirds of our jerseys are on sale, and 1/3 of our jerseys you cannot buy. It's live. Our season's happening. And
which one is that? The black one?
Yeah, the alternates.
That atrocious black one.
I don't care how atrocious it is. You can't buy our merchandise that we're wearing.
Well,
it's because they slapped it together in a couple weeks.
Sure, they had 2 years to do this.
Back in February. But I bet everybody at the stadium was so confused. They're probably like seeing Kenny walk by with his Commander's helmet and Carson Wentz jersey, and they're like, "Where did he get that?" And
I'll be honest, a lot of people had jerseys. A lot of the most I saw were probably Commander jerseys. A lot of people seem to like them too. Especially, I got multiple compliments. I wore my white. I got multiple compliments of guys coming up the aisle because I'm at the top of the aisle, being like, "Man, that's a nice jersey," and I was like, "Eh."
Hey,
you know,
you're a brave man.
It's not
wearing
surprising.
A white jersey.
I've seen the tacky fans in the tailgates. Like, they're not exactly fashion mavens.
I will say that Kenny was brave wearing a white jersey though, because he had not seen the sewage pipes and how they were working yet this year. So it took a lot of courage to do that.
But it's before Labor Day, so it's fine.
Fair enough.
Well, a few weeks. So what else about your game day experience?
Other thing was the fight song fiasco, which most people...
we just touched on that.
No, I'll get into detail about that. Because we talked about the slowness. The whole thing was a mess. So there was a great like professional wrestling introduction for like the new fight song. And it was really good actually. Like the video thing was great. So it's kind of like cool. Band's on the field, new fight song, here we go. And so the band starts playing and there's no lyrics being sung. So like it's just the music. And so they put the lyrics on the big screen, and one of the big changes they made a point of was that they changed the lyrics in the middle of the song, the one word, from Sons of Washington to All of Washington, but Sons of Washington popped up on the screen. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess I didn't change that part. We get past that part in the song, and then some female on the field starts singing the song in 2/3 of the way through the song. Just like mid-lyric. So it was like, that was weird. So after that happens, we score a touchdown. And so everyone's like, fight song time. And from the moment we scored to kickoff, dead silence. Not a note was played. Not a lyric was sung by the band, by the team, by the speakers. Nothing. It was just silence. So we were like, guess we're not doing the fight song. Touchdown number 2, they play the fight song. And that's where the funeral song came in, because it is like what you played at the beginning. If you slowed it down by 3 times, people wanted to sing. There were people around me were like, here we go. And then we're like, hail to the, and it was like, we don't know where we are anymore. And that's how slow that thing was. By the middle of the song where we got like the run and pass and score, people had given up because we didn't know the song was still going on. It was like 5 minutes later.
And weren't they kicking the extra point in the middle of the fight song too?
Well, so they do. They always used to do this. They'll play like the first few notes when we score a touchdown, cut it for the extra point, and then play the whole thing with the lyrics after, which they did, but no one expected it to be sung. Like 12 tortoises decided to like sing a song together at that speed. It was not well done. And then on top of the fight song, you also had the mascot fiasco where, we're all like, we're going to pick a mascot. I'm all for a ridiculous mascot. Make it a war hog. Make it something stupid. But the choices they gave us,
you don't want a dog
on Twitter.
You don't want a dog?
So the 4 choices: hog, cool, neat. I like that one. dog. Nope. We were never a dog. We don't have any affiliation with the dog. We didn't choose a dog mascot. Why would we be a dog?
Joe Biden has a dog.
What's that?
Joe Biden has a dog named Commander.
Yes, he does. Great. And in 3 years, it'll be irrelevant. So
I think he get banned from the White House though for like biting Secret Service agents or some shit.
Yeah, more ferocious than our mascot will ever be. And then so we have political figure, which is like that's also safe, but has nothing to do with Commanders. Like we could have been the George Washingtons, and then we could have picked George Washington, and then it was superhero, which same shit. Like it should have been like, why don't we have some like Sergeant Slaughter should be our mascot?
I actually want
stolen valor.
I actually want the superhero, but I want it to be you. You think we could do that? Think we could pull that off?
I want a.
We've already got that. Do you think it's because of the super fan super skin defender, whatever he called himself?
Oh, that guy's been dead for 10 years.
Or
no, he's still alive. He is very much alive. He does post on Facebook a lot.
Oh, I haven't seen or heard of him since he gave me a vote for Mr. Skins or whatever his name was, bumper sticker like 7 years ago.
Yes, this is what was on.
Is that my picture? That's what I sent you, right?
Yes, that's exactly your picture.
I don't
have multiple pictures of this floating around.
I haven't even voted. I guess I should go on there and do that.
I cried when I saw this.
They're all awful. I mean, there's only one answer.
I mean, it's going to be the hog, I would imagine.
Yes.
If it's not,
which
then
once
this fan
again
base is truly dead.
That still has nothing to do with Commanders.
My ideal mascot, to be honest, and I would love this. I want a swine, not a pig. I want a swine looking gigantic hog looking thing in army fatigues that rides around on a tank. Because we're the Commanders and we're the Hogs, you can combine the new name and the old nickname and then put them together and have a ridiculous ass mascot riding around with a goddamn bazooka, shooting confetti at people and t-shirts, riding around on a tank all game long.
You know what would be nice if
we were the Red Wolves?
They were just called the Hogs.
Yeah.
Or the Hogs.
I mean, why does that hog look like it literally looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
So that's the other scary part is like, look at these pictures because this is what I'm pretty sure our 4 mascots might be. Like you're looking at them.
Like they've already pre-made these.
Right. Like they're
already ready.
If we choose a dog, it'll be that goofy ass dog.
And by pre-made, I mean they're slapped together. It's pretty
right.
bad.
Also, I can't wait for the name because they're going to get a ridiculous name. It's going to be like Snyder the Hog. Snyder's Hog.
Release the report the hog.
Oh my god. We should all just vote for the dog and see what happens. We should start a campaign.
I have to stare at this thing every game starting at the end of this year.
Oh goodness. Look what they've done to us. Like it's the more and more I look at the team, it's like what have you done to my boy?
Hey, so the thing is though, like we all kind of wanted fan control for like the important stuff, like the uniforms and all that, and you know we got nothing to do with that, and then now all of a sudden we get to pick, but then they give us choices like these.
Well, it's like the fight song. They were like, "Hey guys, it's your choice. Do you want Fight for the Commanders, which is repetitive, or Leaders on a Mission, which is made by a kindergartner?" And it was like, "What's choice C?" Like there is none.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And like this mascot thing, the fight song thing, the crest thing.
I like the crest. Well, except for the
no, I'm just saying how it was incorrect.
Correct, right.
The whole launch of the name, as we just talked about, the uniforms. Some people like them.
I like them. I like them live and in person, the white ones.
I think it's like utter failure, or it was like screwed up and it needed to be revised.
Speaking of
it's just the same old like with the org. I hope the team's different.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of like releasing the report and all that, we have some release the lost podcast tapes of us talking about the uniforms for 3 hours. That
yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Release the video, Eddie.
There's literally like a video and it's 45 seconds long
Don't make me have Congress subpoena you so you can just tell them no and then move on with your life. Then nothing happens.
Everything I said was declassified. Kill me. But yeah, it's just the repeated failure. Like it's kind of, they can't just do something once and get it right. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I was gonna say they can't do
this theme
something.
song should have been so easy. This fight song should have been so easy.
They can't do something once and just be normal about it. That's the thing I think that upsets me the most. Like they couldn't have been like, "Hey guys, here's our fight song, and here are decent lyrics that to the same exact beat," because they would have been like, "Okay, well, we're not really happy we had to change it, but you didn't screw it up." And they were like, "Well, what's the worst possible thing we can do?" I know 12 things will go wrong on the preseason game, and the song will be hated by everybody. Everybody.
I was going to ask while that picture was still up there. Did you take that picture, Kenny? Pretty sure.
Yeah, that was mine.
Yeah, give photo credit to Kenneth J. Paltrow
That's right. I'm doing the field research.
He gets no credit at all. Zero. He's got too many jerseys. Good God. Yeah, and aren't they doing a Sean Taylor Day again this year?
Yes, when we wear our black jerseys, where he never wore any black in his life, we're doing it on one of those games. Did you know? I don't know if you knew that, but that's a thing.
No. Well, he was never a commander either. So.
Well, so I was saying at the tailgate, like, so the thing that I can't say, I'm all about the name change. I'm all about let's go Commanders. But when you talk about who won the Super Bowl, because even our team does this, they're like, hey, remember the 91 Commanders? And you're like, well, I don't, because they were the 91 Washington Redskins. It's okay to say that name. It's historical. Just like when we talked about taking down monuments, put them in museums. We can still talk about them. We can't erase them from history because the history happened. You can't say like Robert E. Lee never existed. You're like, well, from 1840 to 1860, America didn't exist. And then everyone was friends.
But, you know, I get it because it's the term that is in question and the term is the name. So if the term is in fact been deemed a slur, then it is in fact a slur today, yesterday, and forever. And you shouldn't say a slur.
I want you to go watch Meatballs again with Bill Murray. I want you to tell me the character with the glasses name, because we're going to have to change his name in 2022 from Spaz to like Chuck.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. And
I also just got Hoggin and Mike canceled, by the way.
Yeah, you probably did. You probably got your teaching career canceled.
Don't put us on Twitter.
Oh, it's already on Twitter. We're literally broadcasting live on Twitter right now.
This is live.
Yeah, this is live.
Whoa, I said that. No, we can do no outtakes.
I said that before. That's why I said this is live.
Hey, who's watching this? How can I tell?
Nobody's watching it currently live.
Hey, where are my Hoggies at?
There's none. Just Marcy.
Like and subscribe below.
Oh, you have to remember, Kenny's like a 67-year-old man that we had to wait 26 minutes
did take him
to
an
get
hour.
his camera working.
Was that being broadcast live?
Oh, it should have been. I wish it was.
It did take Kenny an hour to actually get signed on here. He's easily confused, and we're like 2.5 years into the pandemic. You should know how to use these things by now.
So
I'm like 2023 over here.
Full transparency, Kenny was giving me a hard time about running late for about half an hour.
Oh, that was Eddie.
Because I had important tasks to do, and then Kenny held us up another hour.
Eddie, start putting hashtags in the chat box. Get us seen on here.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. How does people find live feeds on Twitter?
You share them. It's literally go to the profile.
Start posting on like the Commander site and like The Rock. Do like celebrities. Post us like in the comments.
Oh yeah, let's start tagging people.
Like we should look up the top 10 things that are trending right now and start in the comments putting our link on each one of those.
Sure.
Like, don't you think we have a good correlation with hashtag Super Freak, Nicki Minaj?
What are you even talking about?
the top 10 things that are trending on Twitter.
Why don't you do this, Kenny? Go and retweet us, but with a comment, and then put that hashtag on it. So we're in there. We'll retweet you. It's like a pyramid scheme.
Kenny, it looks
social media.
like the top 2 trending things right now are Vader and Omicron. So
What are you? You're looking at Florida Twitter. And I don't want to know what's going on in Florida.
Florida just got Omicron. They just they're living a few months behind.
They're finally acknowledging it.
we had Omicron. We had Omicron back in 2019. I'm pretty sure.
No, I got
Anyway.
Liz Cheney and Super Freak, and we're gonna have to go for one of them. We want to go political or music?
I think we're going to talk about this football team, and
no
we're going
one's
to
gonna
verge
watch us
from the
now.
insanity. An important thing I would think, for people that are fans of this team would be how well Carson Wentz is going to do, right?
Correct. One of the two.
What is going to dictate what does he got to do to be good and successful this year? That's what I want to know.
He has to be.
What do you think he needs to do?
He has to be accurate, and I think the biggest thing that has kind of plagued his career since his rookie season, maybe his second year, is he's kind of had the yips because he gets hurt all the time. I think he's got some sort of mental hurdle he's got to get over.
Oh, for sure. He's always hurt, and it's always at inopportune times, I would say.
Yes.
Yes. The fact that everyone's talking about his inaccuracy, beat reporters, coaches, himself, is a little concerning to me. Where you're like going into the start of the season with very little confidence in your starting quarterback, including the quarterback himself. So there's the whole thing about him being inaccurate. Also, our offensive line, which has not changed much. We did lose Scherf, but we got Norwell, who's just as good in my opinion. Our pass protection's been pretty good, but we've seen that all it takes with these older guys that we get is one little sack and their hips and their legs snap into 6 places.
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Right. And Alex Smith and probably Carson Wentz in the next, I don't know, 4 hours.
And
so
Bobby
like,
Sticks.
so like if our offensive line is always more or less decent enough, he should be okay. If he stays healthy, but that's a whole tall order. So offensive line, and then just himself, like Max said, the biggest thing with him, in my opinion, is fumbling. This guy fumbles 5 times a game and loses 3 footballs every game. If he can do that down to 1, maybe we're within 3 points in the fourth quarter.
And I think it's not just when he it's like not just that he's fumbling or throwing interceptions. He's always thrown very inopportune interceptions or coughed the ball up at inopportune times. Just like Gibson. If you think about last year, whenever he coughed the ball up, it was always like on the goal line. This is the final score or drive of the game. It was always during those big moments that he was putting the ball on the turf. So maybe if you can, be aware of the situation a little bit more. And should I throw into this? Is it a good time to take this chance, or should I maybe check down?
Well, so Carson, that you're saying like that's going through his head. I've watched Carson Wentz do what like some of my kindergartners do when we play like little backyard football, and when they get like when someone's chasing them. Their reaction is just to take it and just throw it over their head and then just go to the first person. I've literally watched Carson Wentz do that as a professional grown man multiple times in his career. And that's not okay. So like if he only does that one time this season, I'll only be very upset. I have a feeling he'll do it like multiple times.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
and how sick does he look in those burgundy jerseys?
Like how like
it's
physically sick does he look?
He looks pretty gross. I'm just gonna be honest. Like I'm not gonna rag on Gingers too much right now, but it's pretty overwhelming looking.
I mean, he looked decent enough. He threw a lot of passes to the tight ends, which was pretty safe. I felt like they were just confidence builders, kind of like preseason passes. But he actually threw some nice balls. One of his incompletions to Jahan Dotson would have been a touchdown if not for the hold there.
Preseason game 1, vanilla offense, safe throws, but I came out of it being like, well, that wasn't bad. Like it wasn't anything spectacular, but it wasn't bad. I wasn't concerned after game 1, but game 1 in preseason tells you so little about a quarterback.
I mean, He like last year for the Colts, he threw 27 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. I mean, pretty decent stat line by any quarterback. And he put together one of the best seasons that any Philadelphia Eagles quarterback's ever put together. So he has
until he got hurt.
Yeah, exactly. He has the capability to do it. It's a matter of, do we give him enough support? Is he able to overcome his yips, as I like to say, and not do those crazy freaking turnovers that seem to plague his career.
Yeah, and that's what I want to see. But I do think that they have one of the better backups in the league right now. But he is very much still himself, as you saw during the preseason game. He will throw that just like interception sometimes.
Or were you speaking of Heineke or Hal?
Oh, Heine. I'm the number
Sam
one.
Howell looks pretty darn good.
It didn't look too bad either. So I mean, that's not a bad quarterback room when you look at it. If Carson goes down, that's not the end of the season per se. I think Heineke can win.
He and De'Ami Brown have some pretty good chemistry. They were a dynamic duo in college, and I think Sam Howell, if he would have came out his junior year, probably would have went higher than the 5th round. Like, he pretty much lost everybody in his offensive line, and it kind of hurt his draft stock. So we got a pretty good player for a 5th round pick, I think.
I mean, if you can get any reps out of a 5th rounder, then you're probably not doing too bad.
I agree. I need to be able to change your name. How do I do that?
You can't. You can't. That's how this
Czar
goes.
Eddie.
If you want to pay for StreamYard, you will be more than welcome to be added as a creator. It costs money to do so. So.
Fair enough.
We're at an impasse, my friend.
You can change my name to Max Cheap Bacon.
Oh goodness. So what does he have to do? Anything else? Kenny was talking here. I think we went off on another tangent.
He always talks.
Well, Carson Wentz? I'm talking about Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, so you said he had 27 touchdowns last year. I had a bet that he was not going to throw over 25. Carson Wentz cost me $20 last year. I hate him.
You still hate him?
What?
Yeah, he's garbage.
He lost you how much money?
$20.
Okay, now add that jersey you bought and the other jersey you bought, and the other one you will buy, and the other jersey you'll buy.
Yeah, so he cost me a lot more.
Yeah, and then they'll still keep his sad sack ass around next year when he's still bad, and then they'll change the jerseys a little bit, and you'll get a different one. So that's another. You're going to be at least $1,000,000 into this guy.
We have him for 2 more years. I didn't even realize that until I looked it up last game. That's a lot of Carson Wentz.
What about
you're not going to see a lot of Carson Wentz. That's my honest to God, not being jaded.
Sam Howell by week 10.
Oh my Lord!
What's going to happen to Heine?
Kenny saw enough. Kenny saw enough Carson Wentz at North Dakota State.
I've hated him since college. I can't stand this guy.
Yeah, he won like 3 or 4 national championships there.
Yeah, one directly against us. I watched him play in college.
I'm not surprised at all.
So, how was he in college? Did you enjoy it?
I didn't think anything of it because he was from North Dakota State.
He should have stayed there from the looks of him.
Oh, come on. What about Gibson? We got he's apparently playing special teams.
Yeah, he's
now.
on special teams in practice. I don't know if that means he's like 8th string running back now, but they have so many capable running backs that can also get 48 yards a game. I know he has had like a good game or two, but a good game or two is not worth the 8 fumbles he has in between. I feel like we got Robinson, we have Patterson, McKissick. Any of these guys can put up a 90-yard game every 5th game and not fumble. So Gibson, I don't even care if he's not on our team start week 1.
Honestly, Carolina doesn't have a chance to kick a game-winning field goal if he doesn't fumble that in the first half.
Well, I mean, that was him like 8 games last year. It was like, why is this team who we've tripled their yards in the first half are up 14-3? Mm-hmm. Oh, because Antonio Gibson fumbled on our own 5 and their 5.
Yeah,
That's true.
that's what he does.
That's
He
what
does it over and over and over and over at the most inopportune times. And then he did it again as soon as he gets another opportunity. But what I did like to see was the fact that they didn't hesitaate to pull him from the game. They did it almost immediately.
Rivera was starting to do that last year too, which I was very happy about because that's what needs to happen at this point. Like I said, if he's a cut, I go, well, that's a shame. Hopefully he picks it up in the AFC somewhere.
He'll probably get picked up and be gangbusters for someone. It's like Carlos Rogers when they let him go and he went and he got his eyes checked. And
what if they discover that Antonio Gibson doesn't have fingers and then they like put like fingers on him and then he's like good again?
Or I mean, he could end up being another Matt Jones, and nobody will care about him in a year.
That's kind of what this looks like. Like Matt Jones, remember when he started with us? It was like a few good games. We're like, all right, we got a running back, and then Matt Jones like, hey, by the way, I don't have arms. I was born without arms. And then we were like, oh, well, then you can't be a running back for us. And then every other team was like, well, you can't be running back for us either. And right now, I'm saying Antonio Gibson has arms but no fingers. Still can't be a running back.
Arms but no fingers.
Yeah.
I have a prediction that Gibson will not be the starter by week 3.
I'm saying
I don't think he's the starter now.
Week 1, he's not the starter.
I don't think he's the starter now, honestly. If he's not even returning punts.
Right.
He's blocking.
Yeah.
Yes.
That tells you something. Like he's not in a good place with coaches right now. Like I think he's got all the physical assets to do it, but so do a lot of other guys. There's a lot of other guys on the team that do, and they don't put the ball on the turf.
Right. I think he gets one more shot. I think this is like we're gonna scare the hell out of him and throw him on special teams, kind of see if this works, and one last chance.
Well, let's see what happens because I'm sure he'll get a lot of playing time preseason. So whether it's in the third or fourth quarter or in triple overtime, but like they'll put him in preseason and we'll see what line he plays with. And if he holds on to the ball more than twice. Because the thing is, if they put him on third and fourth line, you better be breaking 10-yard runs. Like it's not acceptable just to be like, I got a yard, but I held on to the ball. Because you know what? I could probably do that.
Yeah, you could. I mean, Robinson was like tacklers were just bouncing off of him. He was just gaining 4, 5, 6 yards left and right. Like
Patterson too. He does it all the time. He's good for like 3 to 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So put one of those guys in.
So running back room looks pretty nice. Wide receiver room, I think, looks a lot better than it did last year. If Samuel can actually stay healthy once again, I think we have too many like injury question marks on offense.
That's the thing. We have a running back that was born without fingers. We have a receiver that was born without one leg. So I don't know why we keep trying to start these guys that don't have legs.
He's actually now. I did hear earlier that he's as healthy as he's been, and he actually has already played like a lot more time in this preseason game than he had before. Apparently he's good. They're being cautious with him, but they feel really good about where he's at. Apparently he was in there getting like extra work and like actually putting time in to get better and asking what he could do. So that's actually a good thing you want to hear from a player. He wasn't like coming in there and like resting on his laurels, especially after what happened to him last year. So at least he's putting in the time. You can only hope that you see it out on the field because we didn't get to see him hardly at all last year.
Well, okay, but like that's like saying like, hey guys, I haven't eaten in 6.5 weeks, and I had a baby carrot today, and it's the most I've eaten in 6.5 weeks. That's Curtis Samuel.
Well, and you know, not speaking ill of the dead here, he could either be doing the work, putting his time in, or he could be Dwayne Haskins.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Who didn't put the time in, who didn't study, who made every excuse in the book, who never lived up to his potential. Well, yeah. And what was he doing there?
Hey, you know the difference is? You don't have to worry about Curtis Samuel doing that because he can't walk. So he's not going across any highway anytime soon.
I think we might see him. I was the one that said last year that he was going to miss significant time and it was going to be nagging him through the whole year.
Who, Dwayne Haskins?
No.
He's going to miss significant time, yes.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to play this year.
I think he's doubtful for week 1. All right, we're losing all our followers.
Nobody liked Dwayne Haskins when he was on this team, and anybody that says they did, like, they're revisionists. People wanted him gone almost immediately. He was awful.
I mean, honestly, this could be the best core of wide receivers we've had in a while if he stays healthy. Like Jahan Dotson, by all accounts, is having another Terry McLaurin rookie season camp. Like it reminds me of the same stories and whatnot we were hearing from these writers when McLaurin was in camp. Like it was just impressive.
And I mean, if you have anybody else there that's going to take some heat off of McLaurin, that just means McLaurin's going to get more balls and he's going to look a lot better. And he's done a lot with very, very, very little. So imagine what he can do with any help whatsoever.
Yeah. Change your name to Eddie Get More Balls Jenkins. Thank you. Balls. I like it. So yeah, like I think our offense has some promise if the line holds up, Wentz holds up, and everybody grows their appendages back.
Yeah, you know what we need though is a team doctor that's not being prosecuted by the DEA.
Yeah, very true. That's very true. Oh man. So what about the defense? How do you think?
Hold on, just a little side note before we go defense. The other issue I have, probably the second biggest hole on our team, we don't have tight ends anymore. They don't exist. Sammy Reyes is now on the IR. We got rid of hyphenated name, Ricky Jones Seal Jones. I don't remember. Logan Paulson, is he dead? What happened to him?
He's in the announcement.
He's been out of the league for like.
You're talking about Logan. You're talking about Logie Tommy.
Yeah, Logan Thomas.
Where's he?
Logan Thomas.
He's still recovering. Hurt. He's still recovering from the injury from last year.
We have no. Our starting tight end is John Bates, and John Bates is basically our third best offensive tackle.
He's hurt.
Cooley's just down the road, so I mean,
Chris Cooley's probably our fourth best tight end.
John Bates is hurt, and I'm pretty sure that that we're going to end up like having a third stringer start the season. Maybe Cole hamstring.
I mean, like we're out of tight ends. There are 0 tight ends. If the three of us applied for the Commanders and sent in a resume, they would actually consider putting us a starting tight end next preseason game.
Maybe it's time.
I'm in. I have 2 bum hips. I'm perfect for team.
It would be like South Park when Dan Snyder gets hit, but maybe sadder and more gruesome.
There better be a South Park with Dan Snyder soon.
It would be great if he did show up right now with the way everything's happened, and I can't wait to see what they do to the new logo if it does happen.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well,
I look forward to them ruining it further. Because my favorite thing about the launch of the name was it was like the whole new brand was launched, and then like the next day, he got in trouble for something, so it was like Commanders owner blah blah blah. So immediately sullied. You didn't get 24 hours.
That's true.
Not even 24 hours. He can't even give you that. He's hilarious.
That's Washington for you. But speaking of missing appendages, I hear that Chase Young may not be ready for week 1, or likely not ready for week 1. So we just have some lingering injuries from last season. Like of course our easy games are first, which for most teams would be a good thing. But now I'm worried we're going to lose to Jacksonville and the Detroit Lions.
You think they're going to lose to Jacksonville? If they lose to Jacksonville, sound the alarm.
What's the most perfect way for this organization to start the new Commanders era is a 35-0 blowout at home where we look like the worst possible football team on national television.
And Ron Rivera just gets fired week 1
during halftime.
North Turner installed immediately.
We'll probably come out in Detroit and beat them in week 2, but it's just the most Commanders Redskins football team thing to be like, all right, new start, 35-0, and everyone's like, screw this, I'm out.
Yeah, because they've been touting, we've sold more season tickets and tickets this year than we have in years. they're touting all these like things. Apparently, sponsorship is higher this year than it has been in years, which is pretty disgusting. Of some of
find that hard to believe.
sponsors,
No,
if you believe it, if it's true, it's pretty disgusting.
I saw a tweet from my friend about they just signed a huge deal with another company. They
lost like Budweiser and Coke and all those, right? Like who do they have left?
They switched from Coke to Pepsi a few years ago, which is one of the worst things they've done in the stadium, and they've done a lot of really bad things. You know,
yeah, okay, so they lost Ticketmaster, which was huge, and then they just signed SeatGeek today for $12 million.
They lost Ticketmaster? Like you can no longer get your tickets from Ticketmaster?
Through them, yeah, so they do it through SeatGeek now.
Whatever.
That's weird.
Yeah, well, so SeatGeek decided to give them a lot of money for it because they love yachts and abused cheerleaders, apparently.
And abused workers and just abuse all around. Stalking, groping, mass hysteria. This team, it's got it all. It's like a soap opera.
I have to ask Eddie, what's your prediction? Does Jamin Davis turn the corner this year?
My mic's right here. I'm going to lean in so you can hear me. No. No. I saw very little out of him last year to tell me that he's going to be anything resembling his draft grade. So resembling anything at all. He did little to nothing.
My opinion on Jamin Davis is that he's one of those players that like a team like the Patriots or the Ravens or somebody like that that's like set up to have a player that's green, be coached up, you know, not slotted in immediately, you know, and then eventually in 2 or 3 years they have an impact. But we took him and we suck at that. So I don't know how this is going to pan out, but I don't know. Year one did not give me a lot of hope. Heard he made some good plays in camp, but well, I guess we'll wait and see. What's Kenny think?
I'm on both sides. Yes, year one was one of the worst debuts for a first round draft pick I think I've ever seen on this team in a long time. On the same token, I always give guys at least 2 years. Like, wait to the end of this year to say, man, year 3 is like the make or break. Because like I've lost faith. I wouldn't even like say he's a bust after this year if he doesn't do much. But when it's year 3 and he's still doing it, that's when you're like, well, that didn't work. But that's still a year and a half away. In saying that, I talked about the tight ends. The linebacking core is even sadder somehow. And the fact that we knew that going into last year and it's still like that is very problematic because when Cole Holcomb is your absolute number one, not a shadow of a doubt, he's your leader. SpaghettiOs. Cole Holcomb would be a sixth line player on any other team in the NFL. And he's our number one starting linebacker. We better hope that he has 150 tackles this season. He'll have 12. Also,
so you're worried about the linebackers. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, God, yes. Just expect that. So this is that season where 3rd and 10s will always be converted because we'll have 20 yards.
And you saw that. Covered. And you saw the preseason game already with the starters.
The deep ball will be covered enough. And I'll transition this into another part of the defense. The short game will be covered enough, but the middle of our field is going to be like the Red Sea with Moses walking right through it. And the Pharaohs are going to be waving to him, and he's going to be waving back, and he's going to be like, thanks for the passage of time and space. What's going to determine
Doctor Who?
What's going to determine
Moses is now Doctor Who. You've heard it here first.
What's going to determine this entire thing, though, is our D-line 2020 D-line or 2021 D-line? Because it's 2020 D-line, our linebackers won't be as exposed. If it's 21 D-line, end of statement.
I feel as down on Cole Holcomb as you do, but I mean,
think he's okay. I don't think he's that good. I think he looks good. Okay, so if I walked into a grocery store and I went to the banana section and there and there were like,
what are you even talking about right now?
I'm getting there. And there were like seven rotten ass bananas, just like they're just mushy and they're leaking and there's flies over them. And then there's one like kind of yellow banana, but it's like not leaking and it has a stem and there's like maybe one fly on it. It looks pretty fucking good. That's Cole Holcomb.
Jeez. I mean, you can make banana bread with that. Hey.
No, not with the other one. You can make banana bread with Cole Holcomb. But like, that's not a true banana. I want to. That's our linebacking core right there. And Cole Holcomb is kind of the one in the middle. Like I'd eat the one in the middle, not willingly.
Let me ask you, how do you read into the fact that our arguably best defender last year has not been signed by an NFL team yet?
So my hope is that my new favorite Washington Commander and football team player, Landon, by God Collins, I hope that his ego comes down a little bit. He just signs for veteran minimum because we would like him back, I feel like. The fact that he has not been signed is a red flag to me in many senses of the word, but I would like to see him back on the team. I don't think he's going to – I think a lot of guys that are veterans right now, their agents tell them, wait for injuries. Some team will sign you. I think that's what he's waiting for at the moment. But I don't
like how you've turned around on him.
Landon Collins is the greatest football player circa 2020.
I don't like it. I don't like this turn of events.
He's so good. He was our MVP last year.
Kenny was ready to burn him at the stake like weeks 1 through 8 last year, and then week 9 he turned the corner as the Buffalo nickel, and it was done.
I threw him off the line or off the island last year.
He put a rotten banana in a time machine, and it became Landon Collins.
Yeah, he got like ripe. He was nice and ripe.
I don't even want to know what that means.
He was nice, green and peeled for my pleasure.
Oh my.
How
are you feeling about the safeties, though? How are you feeling about the secondary in general?
Cam Curl's having off-season of the year. Cam Curl was my boy in 2020. 2021, everyone took a step back, but he did too. Cam Curl, that's the guy. That's my MVP. Sweat and Curl. Those are my boys.
Okay. I agree about Curl. Like, I honestly think he's probably our best secondary player. I think Kendall Fuller, once they figured out, how to use him, he'll have a comeback year this year too.
I'm good with Fuller. Like our secondary from like 5 years ago, which was the Rodden Bananas, that's our linebacking core. I think our secondary is like decent enough to keep us in a game because if you remember that, what was that 3-4 years ago when we saw like 20 passes over 40 yards to a receiver that was covered by literally nobody. The closest guy was a linebacker. And now it's the opposite where you throw over the middle and the closest guy is either Chase Young on the sidelines or Ron Rivera on the sidelines. No one's in the middle of the field. So that's what it's like. I'm okay with the deep ball now. Like go deep. I'm not concerned. The 7 to 12 yards is where I'm like, that's open all day long.
Yeah, which is scary.
For a while, which is you would hope they would play more aggressive. And I'm not sure why they don't. I think Jack Del Rio's been exposed a bit. I don't think he's as brilliant as some people thought. I think if somebody's going to go after the seat
on the football field,
yeah. I think if things don't go well this year for them, that he will likely be the one that gets offered up and cut. They'll keep Ron around for another year or two.
Another year. I totally 100% agree. Jack Del Rio is the fall guy unless it's a thing where we're losing games like 6-3, and then it might be Scott Turner.
Yeah, I could see that too. I could also see just Dan Snyder just firing everybody and installing Norv Turner. And
or
got there, mid-season, he's like, I'm gonna fix what I did in 1999 or whenever it was, and do it now.
I actually had a pitch I was going to give Vince McMahon that I thought he was going to go for when he still had the WWE. Like when Del Rio got fired, he would bring back Alberto Del Rio, and then they'd be the tag team, the Del Rios. That would be something Vince would do, 100%.
I am still waiting for the day that Dan Snyder doubles down and makes himself head coach of the football team.
That'll happen. That will happen.
Probably soon.
He'll be like a senile, like 80-year-old man, but it'll happen.
And then starting quarterback eventually.
So,
all right. Well, what is the thing that you see as the biggest strength of this team going forward?
Strength?
Yeah, like what is, if anything's going to win a game for them? What is one thing? Just one thing.
Terry McLaurin.
That's
2 words.
That's my answer. He's the only thing I love on the team.
2 words, and it's actually a player's name. Tress Way.
Oh, we're gonna punt so good we're gonna win.
Although game 1 he didn't look that great in preseason, I'm hoping something's not wrong with him. But no, definitely McLaurin. I mean, like he just signed the big contract. Probably one of our most hyped players in forever. Probably since like Chris Cooley, RG3's rookie year, Trent Williams in his prime, Sean Taylor in his prime. Like this reminds me of that. All of those kind of ended in tragedy. So I don't really want to get my hopes that much up, but like maybe this is like a guy that like we have him on every other sports team in Washington. You have guys that are lifers. Even with the Wizards that aren't that great. Like I'd like to see a guy finally, even if we're not good, just stick around for a long time and play well. Maybe that's McLaurin. I mean, we've had things with like Trent Williams. He played long enough, and Chris Samuels did it, but we haven't had one in such a long time. I feel like in the last like 5 to 7 years. Let that be Trent. Let that be Terry McLaurin. I'd like to see him stick around, have a full career here. That's all but like 5 to 7 Pro Bowls. Not where it's just like, well, you're decent.
Why do you hate Terry and want him to be unhappy?
To stick around here? No, I mean, like eventually in this ideal fantasy world I live in where he's made 7 Pro Bowls, we also have made an NFC championship and we're all happy. And Hoggin the Mic has 4,000 viewers and we go live and Nicki Minaj signs on because I, hashtagged her today. And it's all one big happy family.
Well,
goodness.
I hate to bust your bubble, but Terry McLaurin, like just because we love him so much, he'll be Juan Soto'd here in about 2 years. We'll get like 8 first-round picks for him.
We don't bring that up. We don't bring that up, Max.
And we'll blow all of them because we can't draft worth of shit. So yeah, what's your prediction for the rest of the preseason? Are we gonna win a game or no?
I don't like preseason predictions of wins losses because a first team could come out and go up 21-0, and then your 4th string plays 3 quarters and gives up 28 points. And vice versa. You could have your starters come in for 3 plays, do nothing, and then your 4th string scores 400 points. Are we going to get injured, which you don't know, and because that's two things I care about preseason: injuries and how well does your most starters look, and some of your depth backups. The better question? We're going to ask a question. Do I think we look good in weeks 2 and 3? I think we're a very mediocre team, to be honest. I think we're going to continue looking mediocre. There's going to be half the things I watch are going to be great. Half the things I watch are not going to be great. Week 1 was kind of like that. I think it just kind of continues.
Eddie, we should do an over-under prediction. Over-under week 3.5. That Kenny says we're going to the Super Bowl.
We're the first 3 games of the season.
Yeah, so
we got with the Jaguars, we've got the Lions, and what's the 3rd team?
Eagles.
Do we play a division game that soon?
I haven't really.
Yeah, it is the Eagles. It is the Eagles because that's the first game I'm coming to, I believe.
We got to talk about that, by the way.
Well,
we got to discuss that, by the way.
We play our first game on September 11th. It'll probably be another tragedy on that day.
I mean, there's a good chance, I would imagine, that they could go 2-0.
Oh yeah, then I'm change my name to Kenneth Super Bowl bound Paltrow III.
I will leave it that way as long as you feel that way, Kenny. And I don't think that'll be for long.
if we start 3-0, Kenny will already have plane tickets booked
3-0. I'm going
wherever
straight
the
to
Super Bowl
Glendale,
is.
Arizona, week 4, and staying there until March.
He'll have a tent outside the ticket booth.
He will. Like you should see the man skip when he's happy at a game. It's a joy that is it's very wholesome and precious.
Is that how he
also
lost
drunk.
his hips? That's how he lost his hips over the years.
Well, no, because we don't win that much. There's not a lot of skipping going on over the years.
I've never seen a man so happy as after they clinched the playoffs in 2012.
Best. Yep.
And honestly, it's up there for me. It might be my best like in-person experience with the team ever. It's either that or 2007 when they clinched the playoffs against the Cowboys after Sean Taylor's death. Like, but that was kind of a somber note. This was pure joy.
Yes, I think we did that one with a backup quarterback too with Sean Taylor. That 2012, because everyone just assumed Super Bowl and like Super Bowl for the next 20 years. Even past players have said like since 1991. The 3 months of that 2012 season were just as magical as any other winning year. Granted, it just lasted 3 months. It was in a bubble, and everything got really sad after. But those 3 months, and that included that win against Dallas, which was the pinnacle of it.
Oh yeah,
that was
just
it.
the stadium singing the fight song. Seeing the Hogs there for the last time.
Hogs there last time.
The stadium absolutely packed.
Well, it was stadium packed. Watching Tony Romo with a close-up and hearing 80,000 fans sing Hails to the Redskins to a normal beat and not one that was 1/8 time where we all had to like sing really, really slowly to get our point across. That was a good time. I think that was that one. And then like the little smidgen of Kirk Cousins where like we looked pretty good. Didn't have the hype behind 2012, but little smidgen of Kirk Cousins. Because the next time we made the playoffs, we had a losing record.
If I'm not mistaken, actually, I think that game is more than 80,000 because that's before they put the handles on the stadium. If I'm not mistaken.
I mean, it could have been 85 to 90. I forget. We changed it every like 5 years.
I think it was actually one of the highest attended NFL games of all time. It had the most attendance.
Could have been. I could see that.
Pretty crazy. Yeah,
and what do we average now? 14,000.
That was a joyous occasion. Like I literally felt like I was in a dream. Like I felt so good about the RG3 rookie year. Like the future was bright. Everything was going to be domination for the next years to come. And then I just snapped out of it with the snap of an ACL.
Well, actually, can I turn this into a true sad cast? This is a very loser. We always talk about like that loser talk. This is a very loser talk conversation because we're talking about 1 year where we were 10-6 and lost in the first round. And that is like our three, which is rightfully so, our three happiest memories since we were children because this team has been such shit. Like you ask any other fan in any other city and they're like, yeah, the year we won the Super Bowl, the year we won 2 Super Bowls, the year we won 14-2 and made the NFC Championship and just made it, but then we won the next year. And we're like 10-6, 6 good weeks, 10-6, 6 good weeks.
6 good weeks of quarterbacking for the first time. And
it just led to a playoff win, a division win, and a loss in the worst way possible. That's like the best memory we have.
We started 2-6 or something like that year.
3-6, and then won 7 straight. And then an ACL popped, and then we were never good until Kirk Cousins was good at best, and that was it.
So, now that we brought it back down to reality, and we know how sad we can get, we are at the end of an episode. Can
we do season predictions?
No, we'll do that before the first game.
I forgot we're still in preseason. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll wait to the end of the preseason.
Kenny, you just remember we have to see who all blows another appendage.
Right? Yeah. What am I trying to make preseason predictions when we have 12 more appendages to lose?
Oh goodness. Anyway, here we are at the end of another episode. Will we make it to the end of the season? Will I? Will Kenny? Will Max? We don't know. We'll see. I'm your host saying, no matter how hard the past is, you can always begin again. See ya.
#SuperFreak.
Hopefully Dan Snyder loses an appendage.